Chapter 18 I'm a Vampire. Quinn had to take a few steps back and took a minute to take everything in. He couldn't believe what he was reading right now. After seeing that last message, there was only one thing that came into his head. I'm a vampire. Maybe Quinn was just trying to avoid the truth this whole time, but this was the finale thing to confirm it. Quinn had his suspicion after reading the book, but everything was adding up, him being weaker in the sun, his night vision, and the fact the system wanted him to drink blood. But now it was telling him that he would have to drink blood, otherwise he would die. Quinn stood there looking down at Riley, who was passed out lying on the ground. Quinn gulped his saliva down. For some reason something was drawing him to Riley's body. Without realizing it, he was slowly moving forward, and suddenly he could see Riley's pulse beating through his neck. The blood flowing through his veins. Bonus quest granted. Consume your victim's blood to gain a stat point. How am I even meant to do this? Quinn thought as he looked really like a piece of meat on a plate. Layla had continued to watch Quinn since he left the convenience store. When she saw Quinn following Riley and him holding the mask, she had an idea of what Quinn was planning to do. She kept a safe distance back while staying in between the trees to avoid being seen. That's when she saw the whole thing. She saw Quinn put on the mask and beat Riley to the ground, but then she was wondering what Quinn was doing. He was kneeling on the floor as if he was in pain, and now, he was looking at Riley very strangely, she thought. The next second she saw Quinn go to the ground and lift Riley's body slightly off the floor. What the? Layla said. He can't be planning to kiss him. What is wrong with this person? Quinn continued to lift Riley off the ground and place him back down again as he was deciding on what to do. Damn it, in the movies it's so much easier. Quinn said, the idea of sticking my teeth into someone, I just can't do it. In the end, Quinn decided to leave Riley's body there and head back to the school. I wonder what that was all about. In the end, he didn't do anything. Layla thought. Quinn started to head back to school and placed the mask back in his shopping bag. He noticed that the ice cream he had bought had melted, but for some reason when he looked at it, it no longer looked appetizing. There was a hunger in his stomach that he knew wouldn't be satisfied with food, and he wondered just how long he would be able to hold it in. When Quinn had finally arrived back at school, he decided to stop by the toilet first. Quinn was looking at himself in the mirror to see if there were any noticeable changes, but Quinn looked the same as before. Then Quinn lifted up his lips so he could get a better view of his teeth, but they too had stayed the same. Phew. At least it looks like no one will be able to tell. I wonder why I felt pain in my teeth at the time then. Quinn then decided to open his status screen to see if there were any differences from before now that he had leveled up and ever-leveled. Name: Quinn Talon. Race: Halfling. HP 15 out of 15. Express 50 out of 200. Strength 10. Agility 10. Stamina 10. Attribute points available 1. Quinn's health had increased by 50% while everything else seemed to have remained the same. To be honest, Quinn was pretty bummed out about that, but just underneath he could see that there was a single attribute point. When Quinn pressed on the system, it would allow him to increase his strength, agility or stamina by 1 point. Quinn thought about it for a while and decided to add a point to his agility. Agility 11. Even though Quinn wanted to put it into strength in case he met more people like Riley, he thought he could overcome that problem with a good beast weapon and would just be a waste of stats. What he wanted right now was to be able to be fast and agile like an assassin. Quinn wondered if there was a reason why the system had only given him 1 point, then he started to remember the additional quest that it had given him. As long as Quinn consumed the blood of his victim, it would give him a stat point. So far Quinn would have been able to have an additional 2 stat points while leveling up only gave him 1. If Quinn wanted to get stronger, then this would be the quickest way. But Quinn was unsure on whether or not he would be able to do it. He needed to try to do more research into the system and see if there was anything he could find out. He had a direction now and knew his system was similar to that of a vampire. Perhaps if he learned more about them he would be able to figure out if there was a way around drinking the blood as well. With that, Quinn decided to head to his room where he could hear Vorden and Peter practicing together. Peter was trying his best to learn the skill book the military had given him, while Vorden was tutoring him. When Quinn had entered the room, Vorden and Peter greeted him as usual. "What took you so long?" Vorden asked. "We thought you might have gotten lost." "No, I just went exploring the city a little," Quinn replied. "I'm a bit tired. I think I'm going to go bed early." "Maybe we should call it a day for now as well," Peter said. With that, the group turned off the lights and went to sleep. All except for one person, that is. Quinn was unable to sleep. His stomach was in a tremendous amount of pain and he had too much on his mind. Eventually though, he finally managed to close his eyes and drift off. When he woke up the next day though, the pain was worse than ever. His head was ringing and his senses felt like they were on high alert. The first thing Quinn did was open up his system. 10 hours have passed. Your hunger grows. You have lost 10 HP. HP 5 out of 15. Your HP will continue to decrease every hour. This was bad. Quinn finally realized that he had no choice and didn't have time to figure out another way. He needed to drink human blood and he needed to in the next 5 hours.